In order for this to happen on stage, this has to happen backstage.
It's 10 minutes to the top of Act 3, 10 minutes.
That's San Diego Opera stage manager Mary Yankee Peters.
Primarily during the show, I'm the stage manager, which means I call all of the cues. There's a lot of prep work that goes into rehearsals and scheduling before then, but when I get to this point, I'm calling the cues. So whenever you see scenery moving or lights changing, I don't do anything. It's just that nobody else does it till I say the word go.
And I go.
And that's John David Peters, Mary's husband, and San Diego Opera technical director and head carpenter.
Basically, I'm working on the stage with the crew, involved in assembling all of the scenery and getting it ready to load in and put it together and make sure that everything that Mary wants us to do gets done.
The call is 10 minutes.
This show came in two 53-foot trailers. In addition to the two 53-foot trailers, we brought in four 53-foot trailers of gear, lighting and masking and all of the other stuff to put together with it. The crew spent a solid 3 days getting everything loaded into the theater and assembled in order to have our first on-stage rehearsal.
And that's when director Stephen Lawless discovered something else about the set.
When we started in here, the first rehearsal in here, I turned to the sound guy and said, do you have sound enhancement? Because it sounds great from the stage. And he said, no, it's the walls. The walls bounce the sound back into the acoustic of the auditorium, which is fantastic.
But first and foremost, the set has to serve the story and support the director's vision.
It had to be something that was flexible, that moved. And I also wanted to have something that didn't conform to, as it were, the 4-act format of the original piece. I wanted something that moved and changed and had fluidity within it, so we don't just sit in one environment. So we came up with this idea of these two walls that have double sides on them that move and change, so you can go from inside to outside.
It's a complicated piece, and it's kind of deceiving because it doesn't look like it is. You look at it, and it's two simple units that change around to a few different positions. But there are, I counted them today because I couldn't believe it, there are actually 50 different doors. So if you take the permutations of 50, it's a mind-boggling number of things that can be done with the doors, and then the units themselves have like 8 different positions. And all of that's done in view of the audience, live. A lot of things to pay attention to on them.
And one of the ideas I wanted to start with was this idea that we started with the family tree. You see the generations of privilege that Figaro and the chorus, the servants, have to fight against.
That fight between the classes was key to Evan Hughes, who sings the role of Figaro in Mozart's opera.
Figaro is a very important piece in opera because it was considered the play by Beaumarchais and then subsequently the opera was a catalyst for the French Revolution, and it was about the working class overcoming the oppression of the aristocracy. So Figaro represents that working class character. He represents that normal human being who is being pressed down and who rises up through his intellect, through his humanity. So he wins through his wit and through his heart. And so while it is masquerading as a comedy, it's really about intensely human things, very real things, and quite dramatic, serious things.
It has everything. It's funny, it's serious, it has the potential for tragedy, it's political, and it's just brilliantly written. I mean, there's nothing else like it.
Join San Diego Opera for its production of The Marriage of Figaro, a comedy that sparked a revolution. Beth Accomando, KPBS News.